From sunny Florida, where we spent a week recently, and at that time I fell off the cliff in making these videos. So anyway, we were in Florida at the Real Estate Guys conference called The Future of Money and Wealth, very appropriately named. And I'm just going to dive into one of the subjects that was spoken about a lot there. So it was about the US dollar, the state of the US economy, where we're going as a country, what our future is going to look like financially. Something that's probably of interest to everybody out there, whether you proclaim to care about money or not. I know you do. So, in essence, what came out of that weekend was the fact that the U.S. government is hopelessly in debt. If you look at the U.S. government's balance sheet, in fact, we're negative about 86 trillion, 21 trillion in debt. But there's so much more piled on top of that, 86 trillion. An $86 trillion deficit is what we're looking at. So we've come to the conclusion where there's no way we're ever going to pay it off. Some of the ridiculous numbers include the U.S. spends more. Half of our taxes that we pay in each year goes to pay interest. The other half covers our military, and that's about it. So last year, 2017, the economy was what everyone thinks is wonderful, it seems. And there's no major wars going on, nothing extravagant for the US government to spend its money on. And the deficit increased by another trillion. So what's going to happen when the economy goes south? What's going to happen when the next major war hits? Any of those things. So we've come to the conclusion that this is not sustainable. The US government is amazing at kicking the can down the road. They might be able to do it for another 10, 15, 20 years, who knows. However, many of the experts in that field tend to think that something big is going to happen in 2019. So prepare yourselves, position yourselves. Personally, for me, that looks like buying as many hard assets as possible, which in my case is real estate. Another thing that they recommended was buying gold, having about 10% of your portfolio in gold. Buy a farm outside of the US. I haven't done that yet, but it's definitely in the works. So if you want to learn more about these things, follow the Real Estate Guys. Incredible people. I was blown away by the depth of knowledge there. And don't want this message to come across as scaring anyone, because I think the worst thing you could do at a time like this is to hide in a corner and just not do anything. So figure out what actions you might be wanting to take. And the other thing I took away from there was simply I went to the event to learn, because I work with many investors, have investors that have invested with me in projects, and I do not want to lead any of them off a cliff. So there you have it. Check out the Real Estate Guys. Hopefully this video helps. Y'all have a wonderful weekend.